and welcome back to Groove Code. And in today's video, I'm going to teach you how you can make Python GUIs with classes. Now, what is a GUI? GUI is short for graphical user interface, so it's a simple desktop app that will run on your machine, whether if you're on Windows or macOS or Linux, just any operating system. And we're going to use Tkinter for this because Tkinter is Python's main GUI library, which comes installed with Python by default. So this means you don't have to pip install anything. So let's just import Tkinter into our Python script. So you want to import Tkinter as tk, and now from Tkinter I'm gonna import ttk. Now, what is ttk? ttk is short for themed Tkinter. So this means we make our apps look so much better, like we make the buttons, text entries look better, such as also as the labels as well. Because other Tkinter, because the normal TK apps such as the labels, buttons, text entries, and all that jazz, they were all made in 1991 when Python was made, but then they decided that these widgets looked a little old, so they added TTK in, which is short for theme Tkinter. If you want to go check the documentation, you can check the link in the description. That's where I'll leave the link. Alright, now we want to create our app class. Just type in class app, and I want to define the initializer. Just type in def underscore init underscore, and we're going to type in self. And now I want to create our root. Just type in self.root equals tk.tk. So this will simply create our root. This means it will create the instance for all the applications. Now we want to add a root geometry. So just self.root.geometry. And we want to have a size of 350 times 200. So that will basically just set the window size. And without further ado, let's just try to run this using a main loop. Oops, I forgot the root. Self.root main loop. Right, without further ado, let's just try running our by calling our app class. Alright, if we run this, you can see we get our window. So it has, of course, we don't have the widgets yet, but we'll add them when we've completed our app. Alright, so let's just continue, and here at the end I'll just type in return for now. You can type return if you want, because this return will just prevent it from just being in a loop over and over again. So you just set the root title, so just type in self.root to title. I'll set it to something like text app. Alright, if we run this, we'll get our app but with our title. So but you can set the title to whatever you want. So if you don't use text, if you don't want the app to be called text app, you can just change the title and call it whatever you want. Alright, now they say we're going to create our mainframe. Just say self.mainframe equals tk.frame, and we want to use our root, self.root, let's set background to something like white. And now we're going to pack the self.mainframe.pack, and we want to set the fill to both, and now we want to set the expand to true. Alright, setting the expand to true will make the app, which means you can expand it to however you want. So if we run this, as you can see, our app has this white background. Even if you go in, you see your white background. Alright, let's continue, and we want to add we have to create another class variable called self.text. Just type in self.text equals ttk.label, and we want to just set the main. So we're going to use the self mainframe and set the text to hello world, and we just want to set the background to white, and we want to also add a font. because adding a font is optional. Otherwise, if you don't have a font, you won't. If you don't have a font, it's just going to use the default font. So we just want to first, we're going to grid, which means we'll place it. So we're going to set the row to 0 in the column to 0. Alright, so it's going to just use the default text. So Tkinter uses this font by default, but whenever you want to change it, you can change it if you want. Just set the font, and I'm going to use the same font in the IDE I'm working in. So I'm just going to set this to console.less and have a size of 30. Alright, if we run this, we will see our text. So SelfText here, grid is always required for the text to be placed in any area you want. Alright, now we want to add a text field. So we're just going to create a new variable called set text field equals the TTK entry, and we want to use our safe mainframe. So this is a frame inside Tkinter. Of course, frames are invisible, so you can see them. So now we want to just set the set text field grid, and we want to set the row. Let's set the row to 1 in the column to 0, and we want to have a pad of 10 and a sticky of NWES. Also guys, if this video is helping out, like if you appreciate it, does really help me out, and don't forget to subscribe, because I also make Python programming tutorials and other computer related stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. And also, if you want the source code directly, I'll leave the source code in my GitHub repository in the description, so you can go check it out. Alright, now that we have placed our text entry, let's try to run that. And see, we have our text entry, and then when we just try to run, we don't have a button yet because we haven't given it full functionality. So now we want to add a button set text. So you just call this variable set text button equals the ttk.button, and let's say self.mainframe. So if you don't use ttk and you can just add tk.button, there's no problem with that, but for this I'll be using ttk.button. So now we want to have our text equals this set text, and we want to also have a command. So set the command equals self.setText. Also need to define set text first, because this is always needed when we are using the commands. So this has to be outside the initializer, and we want to define set text. So just type def set text. It's going to take up the self parameter, and now I'm going to call a variable new text equals self.set text field.get, and now we want to configure the new text. So just say self.text.config and set the text to the new text. Right, you run this. We don't have our button yet because we haven't put our button, but the only thing we're defining is our functionality for this. Now we want to place the button. So in order to place the button, just type in the variable name, which in my case is the set text button, and we want to the grid, and we have let's have a row of, so being one row and one column. So now we want to set the pad height to 10. So if we run that, we have our button next to the text entry. So if we just enter whatever text, it's going to show button. Also, what if we want to change the color? So we'll have a select box which has colors. So this select box will allow us to set the color, and a button to set the color. And now we want to add. So in order to do this, we have to create a variable called color options. But this will be a list of options. So that's something like red, blue, orange, and what else? Green and black. Alright, now that we have created color options, let's see, self.set color field. I use this spelling of color because it's standard. And now let's just set this to it was ttk.combo box. And now we're going to use the self mainframe. And now we're going to set the values to the color options. And now we want to place our combo box. So let's see, self.set color field.grid. And now we want to so we're gonna set a row of 2, a column of 1, and a pad Y of 10. Alright, if you run that, so I'm just gonna use my other window here. So I'm just gonna set the column to 0. So I made a mistake. It was supposed to be 0. Sorry. Oh, and we need to also expand this. And now we should just expand it so it can be. So if I run my program in the idle window, so we want our app to look something like this. So in order to just change that, let's just set the pad Y to 10, and we want to. So let me just go use my idle code here, and let's just sticky to NWES. So this sticky is required. So I'm just gonna copy this and paste it here. And now if we run this, as you can see, our select box is bigger. Now we don't have a button yet to set the text, to set the colorment, but here we can just set the text whatever we want here. It's going to change. Alright, now that we want to add the buttons to set the text. So let's just say set color. The button to set the color. Set color button equals ttk.button, and you want to make a button to set the text. So it's going to use the self.mainframe. We have to set the text to set color, and we want to have a command equals the self.set color. And now we want to define this method as well. So just go outside the initialize block, and we want to just type in def set color, and it's going to take up the self parameter. And we want to create a variable called new color equals self.set color field.get. And now we want to just say self.text.config, and we're going to say foreground equals the new color text. Alright, now that we want to place our button, so just say set color button, let's just set color button, and set the color button, and we want to place it we want to place it by using the grid function, and we want to set the row to 2, the column to something like 1, and we want to set the pad Y to 10. Right, as you can see, we have a fully functional text app. Just set the color to whatever you want, something like that. Let's say welcome, and you can see the color. So you can see the color changes. So that is pretty much it for today. If this video helps you out, if you appreciate it, does really help me out on my tutorial videos. Subscribe, because I'll be making more Python tutorials and other computer related stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I'd recommend you subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. And if you have any questions or comments, leave in the comment section below. I'll answer your comment, and I'll try to help you as much as I can, and I'll see you in my next tutorial video. Bye. And guys, now that we've completed the code for our text application, now we want to compile for Windows. So first, if we run this, it's just going to run as a GUI application. Just see the text, whatever you want, and you can also see the color. And now, what if I want you to compile it, which means you'll be able to run on a Windows system? Well, we have to convert our entire Python script into an executable file. So executable is a type of installation file which run on Windows only. So in order to do this, just go to the directory where you have your Python script, and we're going to open our entire folder in the terminal, or just open your entire folder in the terminal command prompt. And now you want to know how to compile it. So make sure in order to do this, you have to just type in pip install PyInstaller. If you're using Mac or Linux, you have to use pip3. But since I'm on Windows, I'll just use pip. We install that. Just let it do its thing. It's saying requirement already satisfied. So I'll just clear this out, and now I want to compile it. Just type in PyInstaller followed by the name of your Python script. So mine is tutorial7.py --1 file. So this will only compile as one file. Otherwise, without this, it's just going to create so many multiple files. So make sure you have to do it with one file. And now it's going to start compiling. So let's just wait for it to complete. It's just doing its thing. So it's going to create some package, which is PKG, which runs on macOS, and it's going to create some executable files which will run on Windows. So just let it do its thing, by the way. And while we're waiting for it to do its thing, we can just now take a look at our folder. So it's going to create multiple files, and it's going to create us a spec file. So if we go back to our terminal, it's now building a PKG file, and now it's building an executable file. There it has been built successfully, and you have your executable file, and it's going to have a type application. And if we go to our properties, it's going to show us which is type application. So we'll just try to run that. So let's just try to run our app. Let's just close this terminal for now. It's just going to let it load. So it's just going to take some time for it to load. Just let it do its thing. So while it's loading, let's just take a look at. So it's going to create multiple files. So it's just going to open 2 windows at one time. So I have this antivirus, so it just scans the file to check if it's safe. So now we have our executable file. So you can see the text here. And now it's going to be, so that's how you can compile it for Windows. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new computer related stuff in Python programming tutorials. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.